trivia question. Can you name the others?
Well, I wrote them down, so I cheated, actually. But nevertheless, yes, he is battling Siki, Dick Tiger, the very good middleweight and junior and light heavyweight. Dave Cote, Ayub Kalule, former junior middleweight champion, and Cornelius Boza Edwards, who, of course, was the junior lightweight champion, the former African champions you alluded to. And he's conscious of it as they introduce him to this crowd to less than a nice reception.
Genial, perhaps, but not a whole lot more.
Yeah.
And now the Barbara Walters of Puerto Rico, Carmen Jove, is introducing the hero here, Wilfredo Gomez. Just looking at the two fighters now, on face value, without the tail of the tape or any other statistics, physically, Azumah Nelson looks bigger, although he is just but a half-pound heavier than Gomez.
Well, he's got the frame of a featherweight. He's got great upper body strength, and his people think that that will be the difference in this fight.
He has been a featherweight throughout his career, whereas Wilfredo Gomez was the super bantamweight, and apparently he's not terribly comfortable at the 126-pound limit and is seeking to go to the 130-pound limit immediately after this fight. The question is that I had, after talking with him yesterday, might he be looking beyond this fight? He was talking more about what he's going to do after 130 pounds than what he's going to do here tonight, and that leaves one dubious at best. Well,
that's the concern, and as he faces Azumah Nelson right now, he's facing a challenge that is ever present in front of him. I mean, it's not going to be easy tonight. Azumah Nelson is not going to be an easy challenge, and as we get ready to go here, this could be one of the tougher fights Gomez has had in a long time.
Well, we're ready for a little pugilism from Puerto Rico for the WBC Featherweight Championship. Wilfredo Gomez, the champion, 41-1-1 with 40 knockouts, and Azumah Nelson, 19-1 with 14 KOs. We're ready to go from San Juan, Puerto Rico. Pull up a chair and enjoy yourself. Well, the two men sizing each other up and not doing much else early on here in the first round, just underway.
We should mention this is a very big ring, well over 20 feet. You would think that might help Nelson a little bit because he may want to do a little more boxing. Right now, though, it's Wilfredo Gomez not putting the pressure on Nelson right off the bat, but moving around the ring and showing him a little foot movement.
Well, that's somewhat of a surprise. We expected Gomez to be much more of the brawler. And for the moment, dancing in the center of the ring. We're just underway.
Nelson wants to get his jab untracked in this fight, Charlie, and I think that's what he'll work on early on. And the rap against Gomez has been that from time to time he can get hit, and I think the jab is what Nelson would like to establish early.
As you can see on the screen, the upper body of Azumah Nelson appears to be a little bit bigger.
This is an odd first round, but why not? It's been a strange night so far, even if it's only in the first round. I think that Gomez may be trying to unsettle Nelson a little bit by doing this early, making him come to him.
Did not connect, hit the gloves.
Remember, this is really only the third major featherweight that Gomez has fought. Of course, he lost to Sanchez and then beat Laporte for the title. So to him, this is still relatively new territory.
We were talking this morning with Ricky Wallace.
Good right there by Nelson, and he wants to, I think he wants to stun him early and let Gomez know he has to respect his power.
Wallace, who a year ago lost a decision to Azumah Nelson, is now a sparring partner, and he's very impressed with the upper body strength in particular of Azumah Nelson. No damage done here. First round of 12 of the WBC Featherweight Championship here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. For the folks in the Northeast and the Midwest, let it be known that it's about 70 degrees and it's a beautiful night with a full moon overhead.
see some of the hand speed of Nelson, and he does have good hand speed. He can punch in combination.
No signs of nerves for either fighter. No damage done, really. We'll be back in just a minute. Well, the first round is over. I'll give that to Azumah Nelson. Not by very much. That's probably a 10-9 round in my book. Yours?
Oh, I would think that you've got to give the round to Nelson because he was the aggressor. He came forward through the whole round, and that was obviously a round in which Wilfredo Gomez wanted to feel Nelson out and see just what he had to offer. And what he found was that Nelson could go to the body well, which we know, and did throw some pretty good combinations.
What Nelson was also able to do is keep this big crowd quiet.
That's true, yes. I think what he wants to do, if Gomez continues in this style, Nelson will want to cut off the ring on him a little bit more. But I would be shocked to see Gomez fight too many more rounds like that.
The beginning of round two. Azumah Nelson in the red trunks. That's a slip. Nelson has clearly been the aggressor in the early going.
We wondered if the surroundings would affect Azumah Nelson. He has been very businesslike early in this fight and doesn't appear to be at all concerned with the crowd. And of course, Gomez, by fighting him in this manner, backing up and not being that aggressive, has, I think, given Nelson some additional courage.
No question. Well, Nelson wasn't the least bit intimidated when he took on Salvador Sanchez in July of '82 at the Garden, when he really burst onto the boxing scene.
Now Gomez is standing flat-footed, trying to unload a little bit, not landing much, but every punch that he even throws will be cheered wildly by this large crowd.
He's really only connected one solid body shot, and that's about all. The hometown favorite is keeping the crowd quiet. Azumah Nelson. The jab is effective.
Nelson has established that jab fairly well here in the first two rounds. That was what he set out to do, and to the extent that he's been able to hit Gomez, that punch has been there.
You would have expected Gomez to be the brawler. He is trying to be the boxer, and at the moment, Azumah Nelson has been pretty well beating him to the punch.
Gomez has been much more flat-footed here in round two. Hasn't landed that well yet, but he's closed the distance between himself and Nelson and is looking more offensive-minded.
Well, the left hand connected on Nelson, but no significant damage.
Azumah Nelson is, a left hand a little bit low, and we talked to Juan Laporte today, of course lost in 12 rounds to Gomez, and he was very critical of the amount of times Gomez threw low blows.
A minute to go in round two, and we're seeing some action now after a rather lackluster first round. Oh, we saw a butt there. Octavio Meyran, the referee from Mexico, breaking the two fighters.
Another left that strayed below the belt line.
Nelson had his shorts tapped.
Azumah Nelson delivers his jab in a very awkward fashion, but it gets there nevertheless.
We'll be back with round three after this from your local station.
Vic, can you hear us? I cannot hear your instructions very good at all.
All right. Well, through the first 2 rounds, you have to give Azumah Nelson the edge so far, Al. He's been the aggressor.
He has been, and I think that in that second round, however, Wilfredo Gomez was willing to mix it up a little bit more, and as we look in, we see some puffiness around the right eye of Gomez. That's something, he has very high cheekbones, and that's something that they are concerned about. And I tell you, there is redness around that right eye, underneath it. May have come from that clash of heads in the second round.
As we begin round 3 here in San Juan, Azumah Nelson, by our cards at any rate, has won the first 2 rounds.
You know, because of that redness around the eye, you can see it has told Gomez that he's got to go after Nelson. That's a concern to him, and he does not want to risk losing the title because of a cut or swelling which would close his eye.
No blemishes on the face of Azumah Nelson so far.
Nelson is an awkward kind of fighter to fight. He's a better defensive fighter than he looks, and so far, Wilfredo's had a little bit of problem trying to nail him. Good right by Gomez, however.
About his first real solid punch of the fight. And Nelson delivers a pretty sharp left hand.
Nelson has got Gomez going backward a lot, but he's not punching, and that is a big mistake. He's got to stay busy against Gomez. He's got to give him pressure when he goes back.
Well, finally, they're beginning to mix it up a little bit in the center of the ring here in round 3. And one would think Gomez would be better suited to mix it up than to try to box with Azumah Nelson.
But in this round, Gomez is doing much better. He's been a little more aggressive, and he's firing combinations, which he wasn't doing. And there's another low blow.
Missing with a wild right. Cute little left by Azumah Nelson. Another one. Neither fighter has been shaken here. Right hand by Nelson.
Overhand right. It was a slapping punch, but it seemed to do a little bit of damage to Gomez. He's found a home, Nelson has, Charlie, for that overhand right. And we might mark down the 3rd round as the place where he really found a home for it.
Countering with the left is Nelson. And once again, Gomez comes in short.
No warning to Gomez. That one was on the thigh.
In Gomez's corner now. Less than a minute to go in round 3. Whenever Gomez throws anything, the crowd responds, but the crowd, as you can hear, has been relatively quiet. And that's the end of the 3rd round here in San Juan. What did you score that round?
I would give that one to Wilfredo Gomez. Despite the fact that Nelson was able to come on well in the last portion of the round, I thought that Gomez had done well over the first 2/3.
You're looking in the corner of Wilfredo Gomez. They are working on that right eye, trying to keep that swelling from becoming a significant factor in this fight.
I'm a little surprised they're not using any end swell in there, and that's Azumah Nelson. And he's got to have a little confidence. He's gone through the first 3 rounds unscathed, and at moments has been able to catch Gomez with his looping punches, the looping right and the looping left.
Nelson hasn't been the least bit intimidated by the home crowd here in San Juan, a crowd of upwards of 12,000. At Hiram Bithorn Stadium in San Juan, Puerto Rico. You can see the little blemish under the right eye of Gomez as we begin round 4.
We said early it would not be just another day at the office for Wilfredo Gomez, and already we see that it isn't. He's in against a seasoned fighter who at 26 years old is awkward, has some power, and is tough to discourage.
Remember, he took Salvador Sanchez almost 15 rounds at Madison Square Garden 2 years ago. Well, the crowd here is trying to get Gomez revved up.
Wilfredo continues to go backwards in this fight. A surprising maneuver on his part.
Nelson is clearly the aggressor here in round 4.
Now, one important thing to remember about Wilfredo Gomez, many, many times in his fights, he has had lapses like this, moments where the other guy was doing much worse to him than he is now. Gomez finds a way to win, which is one of the reasons why he is a champion.
Nelson's been scoring with some body shots here in the 4th.
And he is not noted as a fighter who goes to the body as much as he ought to. Good body puncher, but sometimes he just doesn't use that.
Nelson missing with a combination.
Gomez hits on the break. Nelson looks at him and says, "What was that?"
A right hand, he replies.
There are moments when Gomez gets frustrated that he can put on a clinic for bending the rules in boxing.
Gomez missing with a looping left, as now does Azumah Nelson.
An important weapon for Nelson in this fight could be the uppercut as Gomez leans in, and I can see he wants to use that punch. Another low blow by Gomez, this time a warning.
Left hand by Gomez. Oh, and he walked into a right hand.
That stunned him, I think. He's a little bit hurt right now.
Yes, indeed, a left hand now by Nelson. This has been Azumah Nelson's fight through the 4th round here.
That overhand right is what hurt Gomez.
And another right hand. Grazed Gomez. Just with another right.
Now there's the uppercut from Nelson, and I tell you, that's a very effective weapon. He's got Gomez holding on right now.
Wilfredo Gomez was wondering where he is at the moment. Oh, and a big right hand. Nelson with a left. Nelson with a right.
Gomez's left hand very low, and that's why those overhand rights are getting there for Nelson. We saw it in the 2nd and 3rd round, the overhand right for Nelson. That's his big weapon right now.
What a big round for Azumah Nelson. We have him winning 3 of the first 4 rounds so far. Azumah Nelson has clearly been the aggressor throughout, and that's a surprise because Gomez, as we said early on, is a brawling kind of fighter, had to come inside. Well, he's really worked right into Azumah Nelson's game plan, hasn't he?
Gomez came out in a strange manner, backing up, and maybe that should have told us something. He apparently respected the power of Nelson, and rightfully so, because in the 2nd and 3rd round, Nelson found out he could land that overhand right. That is the punch in this last round that really did stun Wilfredo Gomez, and I think what Gomez needs to do is find a way to counter that right or simply keep his left hand a little higher.
This crowd is every bit as stunned as their hometown hero, Wilfredo Gomez, at the moment.
Well, they came here expecting something completely different, and everyone knew it would be a tough outing, but I think some wondered if it would be this tough. But remember, this has happened before to Gomez, and he has come back always, except, of course, in that Sanchez fight.
As we embark on round 5. Gomez missing with the left. Well, here's Azumah Nelson on his toes. A lot loose shuffle here.
Well, he is now showing Gomez a different look. Now, some would argue with this, saying you had him hurt. Why would you do this? I don't know. This is a strange tactic for Azumah Nelson.
Well, everything has been happening that's been bizarre around here tonight, up to and including the full moon over San Juan.
He may have had Wilfredo Gomez to the point where he might have been able to take him out in this 5th round. He was certainly stunned and hurt, and I think he's giving him some time now.
Oh, and a quick left hand shook the head of Gomez. That left jab is creating some swelling over the right eye.
And the other thing
it's doing,
Charlie, is keeping Gomez honest and making that right hand more effective. The right hand following that jab has been even more effective for Nelson when he uses the jab well.
Well, Gomez now is scoring a little bit better here in the fifth. Short right hand that really didn't have any effect on Azumah Nelson at all.
And now Nelson again back to his aggressive posture. Throwing combinations and looking for Gomez inside. Good right hand by Wilfredo.
Well, Gomez looks a little bit tired.
He really does. He really does.
Too much home cooking?
I don't know, but he's got a ways to go in this 12-rounder.
Well, that left hand certainly got Azumah Nelson's attention, but not a whole lot more, really.
The bell has rung, and the referee didn't hear it. The bell has rung at the end of this round. The referee still doesn't hear it. This round is officially over, but the referee is not stopping the action. They have rung the bell. I don't know if they're letting this round go. Why? But they rung the bell here.
Shades of Page Coetzee. There's the end of the round. This has been a bizarre night.
Shades of the Page-Coetzee fight. That round, I'm sure, was well over 3 minutes. They rang the bell once. Referee didn't do anything. He didn't hear it. They rang it again. Finally, they rang it a third time, and the referee heard it and stepped in. In his defense, this crowd is very, very noisy right now.
But finally, they had something to cheer about. Well, welcome to San Juan, everybody. Charlie Steiner along with Al Bernstein with a full moon overhead. We have had a rather bizarre evening here in San Juan, Puerto Rico, as we embark on round 6 of the WBC Featherweight Champion. And frankly, there has been, in the early going, through the first 5 rounds at any rate, an upset in the making. Azumah Nelson's been very, very impressive against the champion, Wilfredo Gomez.
Indeed, Nelson hurt Gomez in the 4th round, had him hurt again in the 5th, and as we head into this round, he is giving Wilfredo Gomez all he can handle in this ring tonight.
The only blemish is on Wilfredo Gomez's right eye, where there's some signs of swelling. The left jab of Nelson, as you just saw, has been effective throughout the evening. Oh, and a big left hand by Gomez, his best combination of the fight so far.
Gomez becoming aggressive in this fight because he has to. In the early rounds, he was kind of lethargic, lackadaisical. But Nelson hurt him, had him in bad trouble in the 4th, and so Gomez understands now that this true featherweight in front of him is a tough man to handle.
That's a good point, because Azumah Nelson has been a featherweight throughout his entire career, whereas Gomez was a super bantamweight champion, had 17 straight knockouts during his 5-year tenure as champ, and a nice combination by Wilfredo Gomez. This is his most impressive round of the fight by far so far, and there's Nelson responding.
And he's doing it by counterpunching well, which is not one of his main strengths, but he is hitting Nelson as Nelson comes in after him. And the crowd that was silent a round or two ago is ignited again here in San Juan.
This is the best round of the fight so far. Nelson doubling up on the jab.
Earlier in this fight, Nelson was landing the overhand right very well. Hasn't been able to get that punch in this round at all.
The referee, Octavio Meyran from Mexico, breaking up the 2 fighters in the neutral corner to our left. Nelson with a left. A couple of body shots blocked by the arms by Gomez. And Nelson missing with a wild left. I got to tell you, Azumah Nelson does not seem terribly respectful of Wilfredo Gomez so far.
Gomez's best round of the fight by far. He's throwing good combinations, but Nelson keeps coming.
And there's a left hand by Azumah Nelson, and a right. Gomez was stunned in the second round. As the sixth round comes to an end, an upset in the making here in San Juan, and we'll be back in just a minute. Hey, Vic, having fun? Having fun, Vic?
Did they just, none of that tape stuff will be shown, right?
That was a network. That was a network spot. No more local, okay. We begin round 7. We begin round 7 from San Juan, Puerto Rico. The champion, Wilfredo Gomez, has had his work cut out for him tonight by this most impressive challenger from Ghana, Azumah Nelson.
For those of you who've seen Gomez before, you see he is fighting an uncharacteristic fight. Backwards, around the ring, counterpunching. This is not a style that we have seen from Wilfredo Gomez before, but he's using it tonight.
How much do you suppose that's Gomez, and how much do you suppose that's caused by the fighting of Azumah Nelson tonight?
Well, I think he started out doing this, so Nelson didn't dictate the terms at which this fight would be fought. Gomez started out going backwards. A low punch from Gomez, and we should mention he's received several cautions in this fight from the referee about low blows.
Just overhead now, Azumah Nelson with a good left hand.
This is the same posture Gomez was against Sanchez. Got in all kinds of trouble. He does not fight well off the ropes normally, but he has a big right hook.
He turned Nelson around. We have got ourselves a Pier 6 in San Juan. Charlie Steiner and Al Bernstein. Gomez with a good right hand. And a good left hand countered by Azumah Nelson.
Gomez has hit Nelson with the same kind of punches that have hurt most of his opponents, but amazingly, Azumah Nelson keeps coming, and we saw it against Sanchez. He took tremendous shots from Sanchez in that fight.
Right hand barely connected on the chin of Wilfredo Gomez. Octavio Meyran is the referee tonight. He's from Mexico.
And he has his hands full. There's 2 more low blows by Gomez.
And
another low blow by Gomez. Another warning, no points taken away yet. And he lands another one. It's incredible.
The Marcus of Queensberry must be rolling over.
That's for sure.
Less than a half a minute to go in round 7.
Gomez has landed at least 10 punches low, and there's another one just in this round.
Good left hand by Nelson.
Incredible round.
That's the end of round 7. We'll be back.
You're doing great. You're unbelievable. You're walking into this, really. Wait, put your thing on. What are you saying?
What's that?
Repeat.
Can't hear you. Yes. And then keep quiet? Okay. Welcome to round 8. Welcome to round 8 here in San Juan, Puerto Rico. The corner of Wilfredo Gomez, like the fighter himself, and the fans here seem stunned by the turn of events. Nelson has dictated the terms of the fight throughout tonight. Strange doings here in San Juan under a full moon.
The feeling, I think, for Nelson coming in was that he wanted to back Gomez up. He's done that throughout the fight. Gomez has landed some excellent counter shots, but this is not the way Gomez likes to fight. This is not his style.
Gomez looks tired here in the 8th round.
We should mention this has happened before against Bithorn in a fight that he won in the 14th. He looked all but out in the 9th or 10th round.
And once again a low blow.
It's astonishing that the referee has not taken a point away from Gomez. He has landed, I would say conservatively, 15 to 20 low blows in this fight. And most of them, frankly, look deliberate.
And we are in San Juan, it should be noted. The home and birthplace of Wilfredo Gomez. Upwards of 12,000 here at the stadium. Every single one of them rooting for Gomez.
This is the portion in a fight, well, Wilfredo Gomez has often gotten renewed strength and come back extremely well. In this 12-rounder, he may need to.
He looks much more fatigued of the two fighters.
Nelson using the jab well. He established that early in the first 2 or 3 rounds, and it's served him well ever since. Another low blow. Gomez is landing that left hook low nearly every time.
I think you'd need a pocket calculator by this point to figure out exactly how many low blows Wilfredo Gomez has delivered on Azumah Nelson.
You know, in this round, oh, good overhand right by Nelson. In this round, Nelson has relied almost entirely on the jab.
Nelson again dictating the terms, having Gomez back up on him. That's not what we expected coming into this fight at all.
There was much talk that Gomez might not be as fit for this fight as he wanted to be, and there's some evidence of that. Again, he languishes on those ropes, and Nelson batters him.
Half a minute to go in round 8, and once again, Azumah Nelson is clearly the aggressor in this fight.
Gomez slipping some of those punches, but not many, and he has kind of a vacant look in his eyes. Gomez cannot afford to be on those ropes.
That left looks mighty weary. Nelson looking much fresher of the two, and that's the end of the 8th round. As Gomez returns to his corner just overhead, he's got a big smile on his face. Wilfredo Gomez in his corner, as you can see, is being worked on by his corner, looking clearly more fatigued of the two fighters.
Azumah Nelson flashed a smile at Gomez after that last round, as if to tell him, I'm in control of this fight. And as we look at Azumah, his cornermen very happy about what they see.
One of the storylines coming into this fight was whether or not Wilfredo Gomez, a lifelong super bantamweight, had the power to be, in fact, a featherweight. Apparently tonight, he does not.
Well, he won the bantamweight championship, moved up to super bantamweight, defended 17 times, lost to Sanchez, and Boxing World says you can't fight as a featherweight, but he did beat Laporte for the featherweight title. However, he hasn't fought often as a featherweight, and we're seeing tonight he's having some trouble with the bigger weight division.
Keep in mind, 40 of his 41 victories have come by the knockout route. His very first fight was a draw. His most recent fight, winning the featherweight title from Laporte on a decision, went the distance. Outside of that, either Sanchez has knocked out his opponent, or only once he was knocked out. I beg your pardon, Gomez knocked out his opponent, and Gomez was in fact floored by Sanchez in the 8th round of their super bantamweight title fight 3 years ago. So here we are in round 9. And again, Azumah Nelson is dictating the terms of this altercation.
Gomez wants to concentrate on the body. We've mentioned those low blows. Some have landed legally. But at this point, I think he really needs to set up some shots to the head, because I don't know if he's going to be able to do enough damage to Nelson's body now to really get himself back in this fight. Good jab by Gomez.
But it had no discernible effect, and so one begins to wonder whether he has the power to be a legitimate featherweight.
And they were getting into the point in the fight where obviously the fatigue factor enters into it. We know that Gomez appears a little bit tired. Nelson doesn't seem tired. Gomez slipped in his corner on some water there. Both these fighters have gone over 10 rounds a number of times. Gomez has been 12 4 times. Nelson has been 12 or more only once. But Gomez has been 10 rounds only twice, and Nelson has been 10 rounds 6 times.
And as we have the fight scored at this moment, Wilfredo Gomez is just beginning to run out of time.
Possibly. Some of those rounds were close, and we don't really know how the judges are seeing it, but I would think that right now Gomez would be a bit behind on their cards.
The 3 judges are from the United States, Great Britain, and Italy. How, if in any way, they'll be affected by the home crowd here, time will tell.
Good right by both fighters. They exchange rights. A good right by Nelson. This is what Wilfredo Gomez is made of. He's been hurt, but look at him come back in this round. In trouble at about this point in the fight, and still came back to win a TKO over Bithorn, so he can do it.
Oh, and the jab had affected Nelson. Backed him up for the first time. Nelson does not want to be against the ropes against Wilfredo Gomez as we come to the end of round 9. Wilfredo Gomez being carried to the corner. Wilfredo Gomez looks far more war-weary than Azumah Nelson. You can see the concern in the corner of Wilfredo Gomez. This crowd has been strangely quiet, too.
Well, they've picked up their intensity now, and as we look at Azumah Nelson, though, toward the end of that round, Charlie, I really think the body shots of Gomez started to get to him a little bit. I mentioned early in the round I didn't know if he could do that, but I think he did hurt him with the body shots a little bit. So as we head down the stretch in this fight, it's going to be tough for both fighters.
The 2 questions about this fight coming in was Wilfredo Gomez too old at 28, being an old 28, and 2, whether or not he would have the power to put away a legitimate featherweight.
I'm not sure we have a conclusive answer to either of those questions. Maybe we will after the next 3 rounds are over.
We're 3/4 of the way through this WBC Featherweight Championship from San Juan. Charlie Steiner and Al Bernstein bringing it to you. A lovely night in San Juan with a full moon overhead, temperature of 70 degrees. Gomez suffered some swelling over the right eye early on in the fight, but Nelson really hasn't been able to do too much damage to that eye ever since.
Just a reminder, the scoring done on a 10-point must system. The winner of the round gets 10 points, the loser 9 or less. Perhaps the only 2-point round in this fight might have been back in the 4th when Nelson really had Gomez in trouble, but he did not knock him down, so that might well just have been a 1-point round for Nelson.
Neither fighter has been off his feet. Midway through the 10th round.
One punch that Nelson has not used in the last 6 or 7 rounds is the uppercut. He was using it well early in the fight, and now on the inside has been going primarily with the left hook and the right to the body.
The crowd trying to cheer on their hometown hero. But he looks tired. He's breathing through his mouth.
Nelson, however, is having a tough time hitting him, partially perhaps from his fatigue and partially because Gomez is still moving his head pretty well as he comes in. A couple of good jabs by Nelson.
Another jab by Nelson.
Well, that punch he got working early. The overhand right, you saw him pocket getting ready to throw it. That's a punch he hasn't used as well in the last couple rounds. Early in the fight, it was very effective.
Less than a minute to go in round 10. Well, the left hand. Oh, and a big right hand by Azumah Nelson.
That hurt him. Gomez's punches are now much wider than they were at the beginning of the fight, and Nelson is punching much straighter. A change in the way they were fighting earlier. Oh, good right by
Good overhand right, but once again not having any significant effect on Azumah Nelson.
Some of these rounds may be tough to score. I mention that because we're heading down to the crunch time in decisions, and even though Nelson is landing big shots, Gomez is coming back from time to time.
But on our card, Azumah Nelson is winning this fight. And Gomez is going to have his work cut out for him in rounds 11 and 12 to maintain his title. Nelson now showing some signs of fatigue at the end of round 10.
Wow.
Well, we've got a pretty good brawl here in San Juan, Puerto Rico.
I would say that is an understatement, and what it has turned into is just that, a brawl. Many people felt that if it did turn into that, it would benefit Wilfredo Gomez. So far, I'm not sure that's been the case.
Wilfredo Gomez being worked on in the corner. And now you see Azumah Nelson, who looks much more relaxed in his corner than Gomez does in his. There you see Gomez. You see the mouse under that right eye, trying to cool him down.
That developed early, but it has not broken open. They've done a good job in the corner on that.
2 rounds to go. Round 11. At Hiram Bithorn Stadium in San Juan. Octavio Meyran bringing the two fighters together as we begin round 11.
Nelson has 14 knockouts in his 20 pro fights. He's got good power. And so it would not be shocking, as we've seen him hurt Gomez. He still has the punch to put him away. And for Gomez, of course, he is known as a good knockout puncher, but his knockouts usually come from accumulation of punches. And I don't know, Charlie, if he's really ever hurt Nelson badly in this fight.
At no point has he been stunned, and as you can see on the face of Azumah Nelson, it is pretty well unblemished. Nelson has proven to be a very effective defensive fighter tonight.
He has. He's been hit with some good shots by Gomez.
Oh, he's stunned! Gomez is stunned! Gomez trying desperately to hang on. A right hand by Nelson. Another right hand. Gomez in significant trouble midway through round 11. Nelson with a right hand. Nelson with a left. In the corner just overhead.
Now survival time for Gomez, and against those ropes, he's a target.
Oh, and a right hand. Another right hand. Azumah Nelson all over Sanchez in round 11.
The crowd is yelling for Gomez, trying to exhort him on, but he is in just all kinds of trouble. Here's where the uppercut's necessary for Nelson. Gomez ducking under those straight right hands.
A right hand. Oh, and again, Gomez is in trouble.
And there was the uppercut. That's the punch that really can work for Nelson now, and it hurt Gomez.
Gomez may not be on Queer Street, but the exit is rapidly approaching. Blood now from the mouth of Wilfredo Gomez.
An interesting point. Some tape is loose in the glove of Gomez. The referee could stop it for the tape to be repaired, and that would give Gomez a chance to rest, but he's not doing it.
Wilfredo Gomez, a bloody mouth now. And the mouse over the right eye is getting larger.
What a left hook by Nelson. Gomez nearly out on his feet.
He's down! He's down! Wilfredo Gomez, dazed. Taking the 8 count. First knockdown of the fight. Azumah Nelson is, and again, Wilfredo Gomez is out. That is the end of the fight. The fight is over. That is it. Azumah Nelson has knocked out Wilfredo Gomez in the 11th round. Azumah Nelson has become only the 6th African in history to become a champion of the world, joining David Cote, Dick Tiger, battling Siki, Ayub Kalule, Cornelius Boza Edwards, and now Azumah Nelson, the 6th African in history to be a champion of the world. Wilfredo Gomez is still down, being attended to.
Well, they said coming into this fight, and most boxing experts believe that man had an excellent chance to beat Gomez. They wondered, was he getting old at 28 because of all those fights, and could he really deal with the power of a very good hitting featherweight? Juan Laporte felt that he had hurt Gomez, but that he was just able to survive because Laporte wasn't busy enough in that fight. Gomez is up, and that's good news, I think, for everybody.
He is up, he is dazed. He is through for the evening. What that means in terms of Wilfredo Gomez's career is another story. His record now falls to 41-2-1. The second time he has been knocked out in his career. The other knockout by the late Salvador Sanchez. That in the 8th round of their fight in August of '81.
And this fight's similar to that fight in many respects, Charlie. They wondered if he came in great shape for that one. They wonder about this one also.
And we'll be back with more from San Juan, where Azumah Nelson is the new featherweight champion of the world.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
I got scared. I said, the fight is over. Jeez, don't get up there.
Yeah, I know, yeah. But you were right in saying they should have stopped the name. They should have.
Welcome back to San Juan. Vic, do you know what happened in Phoenix?
Aló, suplicamos a las personas que están en el cuadrilátero, por favor, de que bajen del mismo. To all the persons on the ring, please, come down.
We'll try. Somebody's got to keep him in the ring.
Distinguido público, a los 2 minutos y 59 segundos del 11º asalto, el ganés Azumah Nelson obtiene el cetro pluma del Consejo Mundial de Boxeo. Puerto Rico saluda a Ghana. Puerto Rico saluda a Ghana.